Hi everyone, my name is Tyler Denneback, and this is my Tableau project and presentation. So the question or story that I kind of wanted to tell here, or I guess answer, would be, can reviews help predict film success and profitability? So the data source that I actually ended up working with was Hollywood's Most Profitable Stories. It's just a CSV file, and it's got eight different fields or columns that include like the film name, the genre, the audience score, profitability, like the Rotten Tomatoes, which is like professional movie critics score, like the year it was made, etc. So I kind of broke it down into like four different areas of interest that I kind of wanted to, I guess, dig into deeper. So the first one would be the highest grossing films. So I went ahead and split this up by genre. And as you'll see in the final dashboard view, you can kind of move along the timeline that this data set takes place. So this is around between 2007 and like 2012, 2013. And you can also select which genre you want to view. So just looking at this initially, you can see that Twilight Saga New Moon made the most money, about $709.8 million out of the box office, or gross money. And that was a drama film, came out in 2009, and then it was kind of closely followed by 2011 film Twilight Breaking Dawn. And then you also have like Mamma Mia, which was a comedy in 2008, and then WALL-E. And instead of just seeing and focusing on how much the money made in the box office, or how much the movie made in the box office, I also wanted to explore how much profit each movie made, which is going to be a little bit different because you also have to incorporate the cost of each film. So unlike before, where Twilight Saga New Moon actually made the most in like the movie theaters, for instance, Fireproof instead, which if you look at the other one, isn't even one of the top four drama genre highest grossing films. Fireproof actually made the most profit. So this could be related to how much the movie made, and of course what we're going to explore, which is this related to, like, for instance, the audience reviews, or maybe the professional movie critics reviews. And then that's just followed by High School Musical 3, senior year, and then some other films as well. The kind of third thing I wanted to focus here, which I mentioned beforehand, is the average audience score per genre. So you can see immediately that fantasy is the highest scored genre by audiences. But sometimes this might not be an accurate representation because it also depends on how many movies were in each genre. So for this, and we'll see this in the dashboard as well, there was only one fantasy movie. It was really well rated, but it might kind of affect our predictions a little bit. And then you can see that audiences generally kind of liked animation, and then drama and romance, and kind of working the way down from there. And then, of course, I also wanted to see how much movie critics, whether their ratings also affected how much profit a movie made. And you can see instead of, or I guess in contrast to audience reviews, professional movie critics actually seem to score animation films higher than fantasy. So bringing it all together in the dashboard here, you can see that we can actually cycle through, so we can move through the years. So in 2007, there were only comedy and romance movies that were included in this data set. But you can see romance was scored higher than comedy, and in turn, it seems like the romance films, kind of as a culmination, made more than comedy. But it's interesting to note that here, where Waitress is the most profitable film from the year 2007, it wasn't the highest grossing film. In fact, it was the lowest grossing film out of all of them. So we can kind of see here that the how much money the not profit, we're talking about money here, how much money the movie made in like the box office might not really affect the audience score. It could, because a higher score could mean more people would go see it, but again, it kind of makes sense that because we have a higher score for romance, that it would be more profitable. And just going and kind of moving down the list, there is one interesting thing to note here, here is where things kind of take a spin to what I said before, and this is where it kind of matters how many movies were made in that year, is that animation was the highest rated for both the audience and the professional movie critics. And I think one case for that is you can see Wall-E here actually made the second most and highest grossing, but it wasn't the most profitable. Instead, Fireproof was the most profitable film, but it has a lower score. And if you think about it, there is only, from the year 2008, there was only one animation movie included. And instead, there's 3 of these drama films included. So that could be, if we had a lower score for some of these films, which you can see they didn't even make close to as much in profits as Fireproof, that could be dragging down the percentage a little bit. And then just kind of moving forward, comedy and drama in 2009. And you can see that these are actually pretty close, and they do also kind of seem to be pretty close in both profits and the gross amount of money they've made. And then 2010, you can see that animation was highly rated for both of these. And it also appears that Tangled did make a lot in the box office, but it didn't actually make the most profits, which is kind of interesting to look at. Whereas comedy, even though it wasn't rated as high, it was rated second highest by movie critics here. There are a lot more comedy films, and there are just a lot more comedy films in the entire data set. So again, that might have an effect on the percentage here. But you can kind of see that action was the lowest rated out of all of these 4 genres right here. And it also is one of the lowest in terms of profits, as well as just when compared to the other films, how much they made. And then kind of finishing off in 2011 here, you can see again with the fewer movies, it kind of seems to appear that they have a higher rating. So when you're drilling down into the years, the fewer movies, usually the higher rating. Again, that's not true for everything, but romance here, there were the most movies, but they were kind of rated lower, even though they made the most profits. All right. And as well, you're also able to pick through genre. So if you wanted to just see action, there's only one movie here, but it kind of just changes the entire dashboard. So you can see how much it made in like monetary value, and then also profits and the user scores. So if we wanted to, there were a lot of comedy films. You can actually see that they were rated a little bit differently. This is about 20% more approval rating by the audience, but there are a lot, and you can see that Mamma Mia, even though it made the highest in gross value, it didn't make the highest profits. Thank you.